Well, thank you so much. First of all, thank you to Polly. I think most people here have either worked directly with our Deputy Secretary or have had their programs and projects and offices benefit from her leadership and expertise. And I just want to express once again on behalf of myself and this whole department how grateful we are for your leadership. That's right. And to echo Polly, what a great day this is that I think all of us have been looking forward to for a long time, to pause, reflect, and celebrate the extraordinary achievements of this extraordinary team. I'm particularly thankful to the team across the Office of Administration for all of the work that went into bringing us together today, and for all that this team does every day so that we can deliver on our mission. To all the departmental leadership joining on stage to help present awards, and to all of the leaders who are present and who are watching, I want to thank you. Leadership roles always place outsized demands, but especially in a moment of change and challenge like the one that we are in, you have led so well. To all of the family members who are part of this occasion, and I know that if the president were here, he would say the same thing, I want to thank you. We know that government service comes with obligations and burdens that affect not just the person who chooses public service, but everybody who cares about them, certainly their family. And so if that means you, we are so grateful for all that you do to support your loved one in their public service and to share them with us and with the American people. And finally, to every U.S. DOT colleague gathered here at headquarters in this atrium and watching virtually, thank you. Serving with this team is an extraordinary pleasure and privilege. And before we get to the specific awards, I just want to reflect on some of the things that you have accomplished just in the last year and what that can mean to the communities and to the country that we serve. You set 3,700 bridges and counting on the path to improvement, meaning that emergency vehicles and trucks and commuters can get to where they need to be without delay. Your work is helping states across this country improve almost 70,000 miles of roads, meaning a safer ride and less maintenance costs for millions of American families. You have prepared grants that are going to double the number of zero-emission buses on the road so that riders enjoy better trips and communities enjoy cleaner air. You are helping to improve dozens of ports so that goods can move more quickly and affordably. You're working to make investments at levels not seen since Amtrak was first created in our rail system to give Americans access to first-class passenger rail. You have launched or expanded 40 programs, each of which can be game-changing in its impact. Things like reconnecting communities, Safe Streets for All, the Protect Infrastructure Resilience Program, just to name a few. It would take until next year just to cover everything that you've achieved together in this past year. And we do get the pleasure of recognizing some of our terrific colleagues for their individual and team accomplishments. And as we do, I just want to note briefly the departmental values that our exceptional colleagues have been putting into action. Excellence, empathy, trust, imagination, and fairness. The individuals and the teams that we are about to recognize have certainly demonstrated the value of excellence, deploying critical safety initiatives on our roads, in our national airspace, in our pipelines, and our rails. Publishing new fuel economy standards that are going to save drivers hundreds of dollars and prevent over 5 trillion pounds of carbon dioxide from getting into our atmosphere. Our colleagues have lived out our value of empathy with measures like making it easier for airline passengers whose plans are disrupted to submit complaints and get relief so that consumers are returned what they are owed. Our colleagues have embodied the value of trust, responsibly and efficiently distributing funding at levels not seen in generations, and implementing a new program to protect mariners and cadets at sea who trust us with their education. Our colleagues have exemplified the value of imagination, innovating not just with innovative technologies and systems, but innovative policies and procedures to help us deliver our mission. And so many here have done so much to show what it looks like when a government cares about fairness, modernizing our disadvantaged business enterprise programs and improving access to funding for underserved and small and rural communities. In a moment, we're going to recognize them individually, but let's give a collective round of applause to everybody who is receiving an award today. And as we prepare to do that, I just want to leave you with one other thought, which is that we are here at this department during the most difficult moment for American transportation in a very long time, as consequences from the pandemic and the consequences of decades of underinvestment have come to a head, affecting everything from container shipping to passenger air travel. But we are also at this department during the most exciting time for transportation in generations, because we have the resources, the presidential support, and the public interest needed to build transportation systems that are going to connect everyone safely, efficiently, and affordably for the rest of our lives, our children's lives, and our grandchildren's lives, relying on the infrastructure we are creating right now during this consequential decade. So if you feel daunted by the challenges or opportunities of this moment, that's very understandable. I think we all do. But also, we remind ourselves on a day like this that we are part of a 54,000-person strong team that has shown itself more than capable of accomplishing what many feared wasn't possible anymore, delivering big improvements for the people that we serve. And as we do that, we are reflecting not just our own mission, but the possibilities of American democracy. And we are just getting started. So thank you again, and now it is my pleasure to hand it back over to our MC, Whitney Nichols, as we prepare to acknowledge our terrific colleagues. Thank you again.
And now Secretary Pete Buttigieg will announce the department's Gold Medal Award recipients. Polly Trottenberg, Deputy Secretary, and Phil McNamara, Assistant Secretary for Administration, will join him for the awards presentation.
Thank you, Whitney. And what an extraordinary thing it's been just to hear the range of the things that our colleagues work on in those award descriptions. And it doesn't take much imagination to see also the many ways in which American lives are shaped by the work that you do every day. When I first came to this department and walked through this atrium, I had to really use my imagination to think of what it would be like to have it once again bustling with the sound of our colleagues after we had worked through the darkest days of the pandemic. And I'm sure many of you have felt during this ceremony that it is really special to be able to be back together in person with hundreds of colleagues here, as well as so many more watching live from their office or home office around the country. Getting to this point didn't just happen. Back in June of 2021, as the country was making real progress against COVID, a department-wide team started planning for how more people could return to the workplace safely. They began examining our own policies around telework, scheduling, and remote work. They studied the plans of outside organizations. They consulted health and employment experts, and most importantly, listened to their colleagues with surveys, focus groups, and listening sessions involving thousands of DOT employees. This process around reentry and forward-looking personnel policies came to be known as our Future of Work Initiative. This team, which ultimately included about 100 people, guided their work by a set of principles: being mission-driven, adaptable, flexible, competitive, safe, and equitable. They considered what employees and supervisors would need in order to thrive in this new future. They accounted for the responsibilities of families, including childcare and commute times. They considered the experiences of U.S. DOT employees who have been in the field throughout the pandemic, whose work did not allow them to zoom in or even to remain 6 feet apart. The team ultimately developed a plan that was not a return to work, since we had been working the whole time. Nor would it be a return to the past, as if the pandemic and the technology advancements we used during that time had never happened, but rather a new, more flexible, evolving pattern of work that would allow us to continue to meet our important mission while respecting the needs and supporting our employees, who are the most important part of this department. They plan to phase in that new future of work schedule starting in October 2021, but that was halted because of the Delta variant. Then they planned for January 2022, only to be halted again because of the Omicron variant. The team ultimately implemented that very important future of work shift between March and April of 2022, successfully bringing the entire department into a new environment where we can thrive individually and as teams. We can hire and retain terrific people, and we can deliver on our critical responsibilities. And our results have shown the importance of their efforts. Just look at the range of accomplishments that we've been acknowledging today. Or look at the latest employee viewpoint survey, which reflected that most staff feel the work policies that we're adopting are fair in accounting for employees' diverse needs and situations and are keeping them safe and healthy. So for planning and executing the department's future of work policies, envisioning a new way for DOT to remain a model employer, and ensuring that the well-being of our workforce remained paramount, it's with great pride, pleasure, and appreciation that we award the 2022 U.S. Department of Transportation Gold Medal to the Future of Work team. This team is, again, composed of individuals from across the department, across the modal administration. It includes colleagues from Human Resources, from the Office of Chief Information Officer, the facilities team, and more. So we are so thankful for this great work, and we congratulate all of you. And on behalf of the more than 100 members of the Future Work team, I want to invite the following individuals to join Deputy Secretary Trottenberg and Assistant Secretary Phil McNamara in accepting this award. Please welcome, representing the HR community across DOT, Ann Audette, the Director of the Departmental Office of Human Resource Management. Representing the Office of CIO, Senior IT Specialist Minnie Huang. Our modal representatives, Arlen Finfrock from the Federal Highway Administration and Angela Neal from the Federal Aviation Administration. And finally, the quarterback of all of these efforts, from the Office of Administration, Sarita Brooks. As I approach to do the honors, again, one huge recognition for the extraordinary work of this entire team and its representatives here on the stage.